Well, Coach, you went more than 20 years without going back to the Stanley Cup final. Now it's 2 years in a row. First up, was that ever on your mind all those years, and what does it mean to you now?
Well, it is, Steve. First of all, this is a very good team, and to have the opportunity to come back twice in back-to-back years, you have to have a very powerful group, and you have to have depth. And we have a better team this year than we had last year. And so once you get to it last year and your team gets better, then it's on your radar, you believe. But you know what it's like being here, and I had some years in Carolina that you came to the rink at training camp and knew if you scratched and clawed and if everything went right and you stayed healthy, you had an outside chance of making the playoffs. And you, how many seasons you have where none of that ever happens, right? You never stay healthy. It never works like that, especially for those teams like that.
You think about your journey from the late 80s and junior hockey, and then even during your NHL career time in Russia and the AHL. Do you not pay a lot of attention to that?
It's all contextual. Like if you and I sit down and sometimes we talk hockey, we'll talk about all that. And I think about that. Right now I don't, because they're so different. This has been an incredibly unique experience for me here with Bill, with you. But when you think about the players on this team, the uniqueness of these guys, there's not a lot of things that I could say this year. I can relate to a lot of other teams that I had because it's a completely different animal. It's a completely different set of guys. Now, the experiences of what it's like to go into game one in a final, all those things, I got a little bit of experience. There's not a lot of guys with a lot. It's hard to get here. So it's different. And I love the fact that it's different, because it's probably why you feel almost that this group, man, you want to keep coaching, right? You enjoy it so much.
What do you think and you mentioned the experience here, you came in as an opponent for many years to the building, to the market. What do you think now when you can't really go anywhere without seeing Panther gear and Panther flags?
Awesome. So I don't live very far from here, right? And they've got a great restaurant up here, and we have lunch in here all the time. And there's all the Panther fans. There's people with things in their yards now. Go Panthers, go. I think for the most part, most of the people kind of in my area figure out what I do for a living, so they're cheering for the team too. It's been great. I went through it a bit in Carolina, right? Like you had to build that almost from scratch, and now they have an incredible franchise there. It takes a long time to build a franchise and to build a fan base that can survive maybe a down year or two, because the game's still exciting for them, and they become passionate as much about the Panthers, but also about the game. And I've enjoyed that. It's been great. I don't mind the fact that I can also go out and nobody has any idea what I do, which is perfect for all of us, but it's certainly growing here, and the attention on the team and the sport is fantastic.
Maurice has installed a championship style of play here with the Panthers. It's defense first, it's passion, and it's toughness. The countdown continues to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final at Amerant Bank Arena Saturday night. In Fort Lauderdale, Steve Goldstein, CBS News, Miami.